Liberation now for the Freedom Theater! Liberation now for the Freedom Theater! Liberation now for the Freedom Theater and Palestine! Yeah. How you all doing? Rising above all that negativity. We are a Limita collective, a borderless collective of artists from around the world. In September 2023, we had the honor of being a part of the second annual Feminist Theater Festival at the Freedom Theater in Jenin. That's right. We were welcomed with open arms by Mustafa, Sheta, and Ahmed Tobasi, along with others during a time when the theater was still barely recovering from a brutal invasion by the Israeli army that occurred in July. The performances we witnessed by the Kabila Collective from India and Ramallah's Ashtar Theater were incredible. And on the third night, in the middle of a solo show by the great Palestinian actress Salwa Nakara, we experienced an invasion. We were trapped in the theater. The electricity cut out, and under the hail of bombs and bullets, the power of theater pierced through the cement walls. We turned our phones and our flashlights on, and in agreement between Salwa and the audience, the show continued. Those in charge did everything to keep us safe, and the next night we performed alongside 4 Palestinian actors, 2 of them, Aya and Chantal, whose stories you heard here today. We experienced in 1 week what life is like for the Palestinian people for the last 75 years. We returned home on October 6th, 2023, and we have not stopped shouting and demanding for liberation and an immediate ceasefire alongside the rest of the world. We dedicate these performances to all Palestinian artists, journalists, and cultural institutions under attack. From Palestine to Sudan, to Yemen, to the Congo, and to South Africa and beyond. We stand with you. We create with you in solidarity now and always. And we will not stop shouting, "Free Palestine," until Palestine is free. From the Revolution's Promise by the Freedom Theater. This is a piece by Suhail Khoury, musician and composer, General Director of the National Conservatory of Music.
People practice arts in every part of their life. Clothes, food, tools, death. People sing while they reap the fields, pick the olives, fish in the sea, while the shepherds look after his sheep. And in every particular struggle, art takes a role, expressing the situation, and artists, writers, and poets take the lead. At the beginning of the first Intifada, the Israelis did not pay attention to the revolutionary music, but then, just as they decided to smash the hands of the children who threw the stones at them, they banned these songs in all their forms. One day, I was on my way back from the copy studio and secretly had in my possession about 6,000 tapes. The soldiers had been watching me for a long time, and the army set up a special ambush on the road. An ambush like this was usually only intended to capture a revolutionary leader.
They arrested me as if I was a terrorist. What I had was a weapon. I was taken to prison where they began their investigation. Who wrote the songs? Who composed them? Who distributes them? And who produces them? I was subjected to very severe psychological and physical torture. They used a technique called the blender. The interrogator was big and strong, holding me firmly by the shoulders and shaking me with the force for a very long time. I began to feel every organ inside my body vibrating and mixing like I was dying. They used a method known as the stretch. I was put on a chair without my back, my legs extended. One interrogator had his foot on my genitals and another pressed on my chest continuously. I experienced severe pain, forced to sit at an angle, trying not to fall backwards.
During the period of torture, certain musical melodies occurred to me, and I would write them in my mind. By the 12th day, the torture reached such an extreme degree of violence that I turned numb. The investigation became useless, so they stopped it. At that moment, I felt two contradictory feelings. Firstly, I was on the verge of death because of the violence. And secondly, the opposite, as I learned that I had finally triumphed over the interrogators. Thus, the musical melody I created was a victory piece with a contradiction. It was not until 10 years later that I could write the music that had come to me while being tortured in prison. They did not find a law to convict me, so they used the law from the days of the British Mandate. They issued a verdict of 15 months under the title of incitement to violence and revolution.
Thank you. We're almost done with our march, everybody. We're almost done with our march. You've been so amazing. Thank you so much. We're gonna do our dance once more here. We're gonna have one more reading, and then we're gonna go just one more block and have music, and then we're done to continue the resistance. Free Palestine. Thank you, readers. Okay, is everybody ready? We're just gonna send our political love out through our bodies. If I can get, oh good.
even as artists. An open mind is a dangerous mind, and culture has made us dangerous. Giuliano taught us how to use art to fight for change, how the stage could be as powerful as an AK-47. How culture was a form of resistance. We learned how using art we could question the world, how we could face our life, ourselves, our community, challenge our oppressors, and confront all the difficulties of humanity. Giuliano died teaching us this. Now we must pass it on to the next generation.
Notes on Suffocation by Chantal Hiskala, 23 years old. We have suffered greatly. Our mouths, our eyes, even our hands are unable to express anything we experienced. They are attempting to erase who I am. But when I dance, I feel even as if they are holding a rope, trying to bind me, while I strive with all my strength to break free. The Freedom Theater stands as a beacon of Palestinian resistance and cultural expression. The attacks to it reverberate beyond its walls, symbolizing a larger threat to our right to express our Palestinian ancestry, our histories, our stories through the arts. The fear of repercussions, whether through arrests or other forms of oppression, is a shared concern across all of our community. We stand together, don't we? That's right! We stand together, artists and non-artists alike, in our unwavering commitment to preserve our Palestinian heritage and voice our shared experiences. We yearn for global recognition of our struggle and for unwavering solidarity. So